to MyMac podcast 818. Yes, we're watching this all right, and it was only an hour long. Yep, there was an Apple event where the main attraction was an evolutionary Apple Watch. They threw in pads, mobile devices, OS updates, and service bundles, but the main pull was definitely the watch. And again, I think that took up about 30 minutes of the total time, Guy. Do you think? I think it was about 30 minutes.
Well,
because,
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, because this week I jumped in with Mike, Mr. Macstock, Chuck Joyner, David Ginsberg, who you do a weekly show with, and Eric Erickson. We did a reaction time for Mac Guys Only. And yeah, it was about 30 minutes.
Shortest reaction time show ever.
Ever.
And, we're going to talk about the event. Obviously,
really?
in this, yeah, I know, crazy. In the second part of the show,
this is crazy show.
It's just nuts. But I have to say, I mean, COVID-19 aside, and all the rest of that, I really enjoy the events more with the way they've been doing it, with all the pre-recorded stuff. And even when things go back to, let's for the sake of argument, let's call them normal. I think I would still like to see most of these Apple events stay pre-recorded to keep things on track, because it moves along so snappy.
Yeah.
You don't have the issues with, hey, and we're going to bring out this developer who works for, XYZ Games, and he's got this great thing, Bobby loves his sheep, and you come out and do a demo of Bobby loves his sheep, and it just takes up a terrible example.
I think that sounds like a good game.
Yeah, there'd be like so many people on Bobby loves his sheep.
I'm going to get some more haters. You'll find out why I say more haters, folks, a little bit later on. But I think the Welsh would like that.
Ooh.
Oh, and the New Zealanders. Oh, now
Yeah.
I am going to get some hate, meow. Oh, no. I'm joking, folks.
Where men are men and the sheep are nervous.
Yeah, you said it, not me.
No, but that was the implication. That came right from Gaz. That was the implication. We're just funning. God, make fun of the Americans. Like, how hard is that these days?
Well, it's actually quite difficult because you're doing such a good job yourself.
Doing it ourselves. It's like, I'm sorry, they did what on live TV?
I'll tell you what, we're not far behind.
God, it's a total, I almost said a bad word. It's a total excrement show. It really is.
It is. Anyway, what have you been doing this week?
Well, I was really looking forward to that Apple event because I had most of last week off, not off from work, but working from home. The guy who's kind of my counterpart that does the other week, what he would have done last week, he's helping his father-in-law do some stuff where he lives because he's getting ready to have rotator cuff surgery. Oh, I just love getting older, Gaz. I've got to tell you that right now. So he's getting rotator cuff surgery, so he's going to be out for the next couple of weeks. So I have to kind of cover for him. And I'm not complaining. It gets me out of the house. But that meant Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I went into the office where normally I wouldn't have. But I purposely took Tuesday off because I knew that the Apple event was going to be coming on. And even with all the praise that we just did, talking about how, great it is, they've got all the pre-recorded bits and all the rest of that. After it was over, I was feeling kind of let down. Honestly. So much so that I considered changing my audio setup. Oh, wait, that's every week, isn't it? Okay. I know, no change at all there. I know you were very busy during that event.
Yes. In terms of what? With the show? Well, I have mentioned that. So, yeah, this week I obviously jumped onto the For Mac Eyes Only reaction show. So for those who don't know, Mr. Macstock, Mike Podder, does a periodic For Mac Eyes Only show. He used to do it on a regular basis, and I used to be part of that. And he still calls me a co-host, even though we rarely do something on a regular basis. But he also does a reaction time, and we have been doing that go back a long, long time. So now it gets streamed and we kind of watch it as it's streamed, whereas that never used to happen, and you had to watch the blogs and see what was coming up as the blogs came up.
Yeah,
and then
much
the video
better now.
and the video would come out, and people told us that they would listen to and watch the video when it would come out, a few days afterwards, and then listen to Mike and I reacting to the blogs, because there was some synchronicity. You generally had to shift the timeline a little bit with us, because obviously there's a slight delay when it was doing the blogs.
Yeah, plus you being in the UK and him being in the Chicago area.
Well, yeah, you say that though. Actually, funnily enough, this time round, Mike was behind just about everybody else on the feed, and I know that I was actually getting the feed first. Now, it was a few microseconds, probably a few seconds actually, before Dave Ginsberg, who was probably getting the next fastest feed. But I was actually
weird, because he's in the same area with Mike.
Well, it's just, I think it's all a matter of timing of when you go on, and then when more feeds come on and more feeds come on. But Mike was actually watching through YouTube. That was his mistake. I was watching it through the website direct to Apple. So
now you can also watch it on the Apple TV and all the rest.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's a bit difficult for me though, because my Apple TV's in the other room, so I wouldn't be able to see it if I was doing it from here.
Yeah, I've got a rant.
Oh.
I have a big rant. Let me get to it. I posted part of this.
Do you want me to finish up?
Finish your stuff.
Is this connected, or do you want me to finish up?
Finish yours.
Okay, so today we had 2 power cuts. Yeah, that's never good when you're not expecting it and you haven't got any UPS on your system. So obviously your computers go down. Now that's fine, but it means that Apple Music on your Mac will reassign to a I'll come to that. But it's MyMac. But it's MyMac. But I'll come back to it. But it means that Apple Music on your Mac, if you've got your music pointed to a separate folder, which isn't the default folder, if your computer suddenly shuts down and the item or the location is actually taking its time to boot up and for everything to be recognized, Apple Music will go to a default location if it can't find those files. And that could mean, if you don't notice it, if you're not careful, and you then carry on uploading music and doing links, you can get lots of broken and lost links. And if you try and repair it, that can cause a whole load of hurt in terms of duplicated files. I put a nasty word in the show notes when I was talking about this. Now, luckily, it's something I'm aware of. So at least I won't be throwing my Mac.
You're aware of bloody hell?
You won't. You didn't let me finish, did you? You didn't let me finish.
Luckily,
it's something I'm aware of for you. So at least I won't be throwing my Mac out the window.
Okay.
Now, what's your rant? Come on.
My rant. You know, I love American football.
American football. Has this got something to do with the post that I saw earlier this evening on the
book faces,
on the fat books?
Yeah. Yes, it does, and it kind of has something to do with something we'll be talking about later. But real quick, I've got a bundle with Disney Plus that includes Hulu and ESPN Plus. So when we cut the cord to our TV provider, I figured, because we were basically just watching stuff streaming anyway, it was like, oh, okay, well, I can get most of the stuff that I want to watch through ESPN as far as sports goes. That's what I thought. Instead, most of the games that I wanted to actually see, these were college football games, it kept coming up saying, okay, well, go to espn.com/activate and put this code in, and then tell us who your TV provider is. It's like, I don't have a TV provider anymore. That was the reason why I went with paying you, ESPN, so that I wouldn't have to use that to watch this stupid American college football game. So I tried a couple different games. Some games came up, some games didn't. And so I went to ESPN, and I went to their chat client, and I'm pretty sure I was talking to a very sophisticated bot, but there was just enough interaction with what I had said to where I'm not really sure, and that's kind of scary in itself.
Yeah.
But basically what it said was ESPN Plus is an extension of a service that ESPN has that does documentaries and, you know, some replays and a few other things along those lines, not so much with Premier Live Sports. If you want Premier Live Sports, well, then you've got to also subscribe to the regular ESPN app at $6 a month. And it's like, wait a second. Why am I paying for this other service if it's not giving me what it is that I want? I mean, and the other part was, well, the bundle comes with Hulu, right? And I was like, yeah. He says, well, a lot of the games that ESPN shows are also shown through Hulu. And I was like, wait a second. So in order to watch the games that you're streaming on ESPN, I have to have a subscription to ESPN Plus through Disney Plus, which will also give me Hulu, and then I can go to Hulu to watch the games that you're streaming on ESPN, but not through ESPN Plus. Is that what you're telling me? And I think at that point, the bot became very confused and just shut down.
Exploded.
It was like somebody over at ESPN was like, you know, that server's on fire over there. I don't know why. But it was ridiculous. You know, it was like, okay, so you're actually telling me that I can't watch this game that you're streaming on your service, but I have to go to this other service that's bundled in with this other service to watch the game that you're streaming.
The thing is, Guy, that they're having to try and work out how they can start scraping the money back that they're now losing because they're not getting those big packages. It's just a nightmare.
I've got a big package for him. I've got a big package for him. This is why you sell advertising. This is why you sell advertising. This is why, and see, I went through this rant before with CBS All Access.
Now, can I stop you there?
Yes.
Because over here, you get Sky TV, and people pay a lot of money to get that package. And it's got film package, and it's got sports package, and it's got, you know, standard TV drama package. It's got all sorts of cartoon. They've got the whole lot, and it costs a fortune, and a lot of people pay all of it to get everything. Well, now they're starting to cut down because it goes up and up and up. And now they have a sports package, and now they're doing a sub-directory of the sports package. And I would pay for a certain number of sports, but you can't just do that. But now they're going by the games. They're now saying, if you want to just see your team, you can pay this for your team. So they're just screwing it more and more and more. But what really winds me up is the fact that, I'll tell you what winds me up is the amount of people that complain about the fact they're paying £12 a month, you know, 100 and what's that, 120, 140
pounds a year,
144 pounds a year, you know, for something which gives you the iPlayer, it gives you the radio, it gives you podcasts, it gives you TV, it gives you standard radio. I mean, there is so much. Are you
talking about the BBC license?
I'm talking about the BBC license.
Okay.
But right. So it gives you a ton of stuff, and it's not that expensive.
Right.
Now, Sky, and you don't get adverts. That's the point. You don't get adverts. Now, what annoys me is some people, you pay a lot of money for these packages, and then they still put adverts in there.
And they don't complain about that.
It just amazes me. Just amazes me. So, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you. We're watching less and less TV. It's funny because we were having this conversation. This isn't really Mac related, is it? But anyway, we were having this conversation at work.
What? On this show? What?
And a load of people said, "Oh, have you seen Des?" So anybody in the UK, I can't remember his surname. There was a multi-murderer. I'm not going to call him a mass murderer, but it was a multi-murderer. And the ITV, which is a commercial station, has done a drama series on him, and they were raving about this show. And I thought, okay, I'll watch it. And I watched it, and I got to the third segment. Now, this was a 45-minute show. I know it's much worse in the US, much worse. So, I'm complaining about this, but in the US, I'm not sure I could live with it. But we got to 45 minutes in the show, and we're at the third break. Now, these breaks are anywhere between, I would say, 3 and 5 minutes long. Okay?
Yeah.
But I'd had enough by that point. I just thought, I can't watch this anymore. The breaks were not right. They were cracking up the show, and I wasn't enjoying it. And I just don't get it, Guy. I just don't get it.
You see, this is the difference, and it's part of the reason why if you watch advertising or TV shows that are based on being paid for through advertising here in the United States versus syndicated shows, even ones from the US that go out overseas and then people decide to put advertising on it. American TV shows that are on commercial networks are set up for the ad breaks. So you watch 5 to 10 minutes of whatever it is. And then there's a natural conclusion to a particular scene before they go to a break.
This wasn't.
Well, it's like when you watch on YouTube. And I know we are going so far off freaking topic here,
we'll
but
cut
it doesn't
this in
matter.
a minute. We'll cut this. Yeah. We'll get on to snippets in a minute.
We'll get on to stuff. But this is our show, damn it. Okay, we enjoy doing this kind of thing. So if you're watching videos on YouTube, YouTube is horrible at this. You're watching videos on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, you're watching something on, say, setting up an audio compressor, which I was doing recently for reasons I won't go into. And in the middle of this guy saying, okay, you have to take this, and this is very important. You have to take this knob, this 10K cutoff, and then turn it to the, do you have a problem with diarrhea? It's like, what? Why are you, and it's not just one advertisement. It's 2 advertisements, and you can't cut away from either one of them. And then the third one comes on, and it gives you that countdown, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown before you can skip it. But those first 2, no, you can't skip them. And because YouTube videos are not set up for advertisement, it always breaks at like the worst possible moment. Yeah. So whoever it is that's in charge of putting ads on in YouTube, number one, stop with the diarrhea and feminine hygiene products advertisements, because I honestly don't care. Spend more time finding stuff that regular people want to talk about. And number two, find better places to put your ads, because the unnatural breaks that you put in are killing people that are trying to watch a video. All right, you know what? Why don't we get off of this?
Okay. I'll tell you what, Guy.
Yeah.
Let's go to Gaz's snippets.
Good plan. Thumbs up.
Okay. So there's a UK school network that has bought 30,000 iPads for its pupils and its teachers. Oasis Academies basically are going to be providing 7th generation iPads to every pupil in its network of 52 schools in England. Hey, good for Apple. The EU testing cross-border COVID contact-19 tracing app. What this particular article didn't indicate to me as to whether this is the app that they're using in multiple countries, i.e. France were then using it and Germany were then using it. This is going to be cross-country, meaning that if you cross borders, you don't have to download the app from that country. It just does it automatically in the EU. But what they didn't mention in this was whether it's the one that they're using the API from Google and Apple. I'm thinking it is, though. That's why I put this in. It's my snippets, and I don't care. Okay. Okay. Apple Watch has saved a cop who was stabbed during an arrest.
So it just like leapt off his wrist and went after the guy with the knife. Good for that Apple Watch.
Apple updates AirPods 2 and AirPods Pro firmware to version 3A283.
I wondered how long that was going to take.
I wasn't going to put this in, but then I thought, no, I should put it in because people listen to this show for information.
Oh, God. That is the best joke we've said all day.
Google hit with a 3 billion lawsuit. It's funny because this has got nothing to do with it. I was going to put in the bit at the end, but as we are actually talking about it, Google hit with a 3 billion lawsuit in the UK over YouTube data harvesting. Okay, Apple stock has rallied as it holds above the 50-day moving average. More on that later. Apple trials express retail store format for Genius Bar appointments and online order pickups.
Easy for you to say.
God, dear. Yeah, I wish. Okay, so the British MPs have said to Apple CEO, please stop ignoring our questions about repairability and the environment.
But they said it so nicely.
Excuse me, Tim.
I'm sorry.
Could you please stop ignoring our questions about repairability and the environment?
Meanwhile, Tim was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Apple has killed off Will you let me finish? Yeah, Apple has killed off Barclays credit card financing in favor of Apple Card. Ooh.
Snap.
That's a bit monopolistic.
Well, I thought it was the other way around, where Barclays decided they didn't want to do it anymore.
Well, maybe, but Apple has killed it off now, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Although they're still doing Barclays crediting over here in the UK, might just be in the US. Well, they did a few days ago. There were a few days ago. Let's put it that way. Now this is direct from Apple. Apple Watch, and I put these in because of the keynote earlier in the week. So Apple Watch Series 6, and I should have said this first, shouldn't I? Apple always want to say something, so I thought I'd give you Apple's words to these little bits of news. Apple Watch Series 6 delivers breakthrough wellness and fitness capabilities.
All right.
Singapore and Apple partner on national health initiative using Apple Watch.
I love the way you just said partner. It was almost like John Wayne. Partner.
Hey, partner. Apple extends the Apple Watch experience to the entire family.
Not just you, and not just you, and not just you, but everyone.
The next article wasn't Apple. Spotify says Apple One bundle will cause irreparable harm to developer community. Yes, I bet they did. Okay, back to Apple. Apple Watch SE, the ultimate combination of design, function, and value.
Thank you, Johnny.
Apple Fitness Plus, a new, engaging, and personalized fitness experience comes to life with Apple Watch.
See, you need a white background behind you when you say these things.
Okay, I'll change it next week. Apple One makes enjoying Apple subscription services easier than ever. Apple introduces 8th generation iPad with a huge jump in performance.
How big?
Huge. Apple is removing the USB power adapter from upcoming Apple Watch boxes. Now, a lot of people got quite... There was a bit of talk about this, actually, on the Reaction Time show. They're removing the power adapter. They're not removing the cable.
Okay, so the Apple Watch will still have its charging cable.
Yes, it's just the... Yeah. Okay?
Okay, as far as removing the actual little plug-in adapter, I don't care. But the cable, yeah, you need to have the cable.
Yeah. Apple announces health studies partnerships focused on Apple Watch. Well, now, as you'll hear later, it can do so much more than it could before.
I thought they were going to do it based on Android Wear.
Absolutely. Lawsuit claims that Apple Maps infringes on navigation patents. Well, does it? I bet it does. Apple Care Plus extended to cover 2 incidents of accidental damage per year. The next item I put in especially for Guy. Gene Munster. Funnily enough, I couldn't hear that. Apple is focused on creating the world's best products that enrich people's lives. Apple Watch now eligible. Gene Munster. No, I still can't hear it. Let's fix it in the break. Apple Watch now eligible for Apple Card monthly installments. I think this is possibly the US only. And now our favourite. Epic Games lawsuit is just a publicity stunt, says Apple. What? Really? Developers frustrated at Apple for just 1 day's notice to submit apps ahead of the iOS 14 release. That is short notice. Apple Care Plus. Now, I saw quite a lot of this, actually, and that's why I put this in. Apple Care Plus just became a must-have add-on to your Apple device. Interesting.
Says
so people
who?
are thinking, well, do you want me to actually find that?
No. I mean, I was just kind of like...
Well, I saw a couple, but the one I kept was from Macworld, but I saw a couple of instances of that. So
Okay.
I think actually people are thinking
that's a dangerous thing. That's a dangerous thing for to put out as far as Apple goes, because if they're all saying basically, well, if you buy an Apple device at the ridiculous price that Apple asks.
No, I'm thinking it's the accidental damage thing that they're coming from. It's the insurance on that side, which is where they're coming from. Because if you think about all the devices that Apple do, or generally the watch and the phone, these are devices which can be dropped, trodden on, broken. So I think that's where that's coming from. But I know your point. I know where you're coming from. You can now make Microsoft Outlook and Edge your default email and web browser on iOS.
See, that's what I was always waiting for.
Who says they're monopolistic? iOS 14 is now available. Have you upgraded?
Yeah, I got a bunch of crap for that on Wednesday because I was basically saying they weren't going to do it until the phone came out. And then they proved me wrong.
Yes.
But what nobody knows is I actually knew it all along, but I was under an NDA. I was not.
Okay. Apple releases iPad OS 14 with new widgets, Apple Pencil power-ups, and much more. Watch OS 7 is now available to the public with sleep tracking, watch face sharing, and more. TV OS 14 is now available for your Apple TV. Deeper HomeKit integration, 4K YouTube picture-in-picture.
See, now I'm all excited about it.
Yeah. Apple quietly adds new streaming device categories to HomeKit in iOS 14. Quietly, they did that quietly. Apple releases Safari 14 for Mac ahead of the Mac OS Big Sur launch. I quite like that from what I've seen so far. Spotify falls under the Apple launches new Apple One bundle. So what they're saying there is the shares for Spotify have dropped after Apple have said, get your Apple One bundle. Zuckerberg knocks rumored Apple Glass tech, says HUDs are like putting an Apple Watch on your face. Well, how else are we going to read? Yeah. How else are we going to read your Facebook crap?
Well, and the crazy thing is, he may be right based on the success that Facebook had with their smartphone.
Yeah, get a load of that, Zucker.
Yeah.
Apple One copes with different Apple IDs for iCloud and Apple Music. Phew, because that was a question I had, and then I had another one which Apple One will support users with multiple Apple IDs. So just to clarify here, I use my iCloud account on my Apple account, not my App Store account. So my App Store account is where I get my music and everything else, and TV and videos, etc. But I use my iCloud account for storage with my Apple iCloud account. If that makes any sense at all. I've got two accounts, and I separated them. But apparently this will work with it, because I was thinking, I quite like these bundles. Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh wait, I have to share my 2 terabytes with everybody else. Oh.
Well, no, that's not a problem, because that's what I do at the moment. We'll talk about that later. Okay. Apple stocks have fallen despite a better than expected US weekly jobless claims. Apple begins selling Razer Kishi gaming controller for iPhone. a new Mophie charging stands, and much more. Now, it's the Razer Kishi thing that I was interested in there, and I haven't had a chance to take a deeper look, but, gaming controller, iOS. Hey. Apple Watch SE is an extremely good deal.
Sure.
Apple's upcoming Fitness Plus service was planned long before the pandemic.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's not like in August, Apple was like, we should do.
There's a pandemic.
Yeah, we should make it so that people can do fitness stuffs while they're stuck at home, and everybody said great and went on with it from there.
Apple say Epic threatened to abandon iOS if they didn't cave to the Fortnite demands.
Yeah, how'd that work out for Epic?
Jeffries ups Apple's target to 135, set for a huge 5G iPhone sales in the US, China, and Europe. Is Apple One a bargain? Well, apparently it's complicated, and we'll get onto that a little bit later. I don't think it's quite as complicated as people are making it out. Here's another Apple place. Apple brings online store to India on September the 23rd.
The day after my brother Larry's birthday. I
Yay,
have no
Larry.
idea what that has to do with anything.
Nothing. EU considers forcing Apple to open iPhone's NFC chip to third parties. Well, EU can consider it. Whether Apple will do it is another thing.
Yeah.
Now, apparently,
apparently
the tvOS 14 is not yet supporting 4K YouTube videos, apparently. So although they said they released it with it, it's not yet supporting it. So whether there's a glitch or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I've actually heard some people complain about that. No, seriously. I mean, all kidding aside. Yeah. So I wanted to watch 4K YouTube video. And as soon as I said that, it was like, it's YouTube videos, dude.
Yeah. They're probably being recorded in 720p.
Yeah. But, just saying that, well, this video, you can watch it in 4K. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be number one, that it's going to be a great experience. And number two, that the content was worth crap to begin with. So, YouTube.
Tim Cook and Draymond Green have a face-off in an Apple Watch challenge. Did you see this?
No, I did not. I don't know who Draymond Green is.
Well, I think is he a basketball player, possibly? Because I've got no idea who he is either, but I think he's a basketball player. Let me see if I can just find the there it is. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay,
Okay, challenge with Golden State Warrior forward Draymond Green. Yeah, basketball. Yeah, baseball, basketball. Anyway, he's having a face-off with him on. Great. I bet he doesn't do it to me.
I bet Tim Cook is terrible at basketball.
Smash his ass. Anyway, Apple has bled more than $500 billion in the market since September in market value. That's because obviously there's been a drop in stock. So that's back pocket change to them. $500 billion. I mean, what's a billion between friends? What's $500 billion between?
Well,
friends?
That's actually like 1/4 of their $2 trillion. So it's true, and we have no idea whether it's really true or not.
Well, it's 20-odd%, isn't it? Of course.
Yeah,
if it wasn't quite 25%, I think. But anyway, apparently Apple CEO Tim Cook has praised Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader.
That's a whole different thing, right?
Yeah.
There. But okay. Sorry, this is actually serious, so I'm going to shut up.
Yeah. Let me start that again. Apple CEO Tim Cook praises Supreme Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the occasion of her death. So I obviously it means nothing to us over here because we don't know who she was, but well done, Tim.
It's adding fuel to the fire over here right now.
Oh, is it? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
But we're not going to. That's not what this show is for. I won't say what this show is for.
Epic rejects. Let me finish.
Okay.
Epic rejects Apple's claims that Fortnite on iOS was dying.
What?
Epic refutes Apple's claim that Fortnite lawsuit was a marketing exercise.
What?
Well, could you believe it? That's the end of Gaz's snippets. There will be a bit more in a minute, but that's the end of the snippets. Now, apparently, men are from Mars, and astronomers detect possible signs of life in Venus's atmosphere.
Ooh.
That's all I'm going to say there. I'm going to leave that statement there, and if I get any more emails about it, yeah.
According to my wife.
Yes, apparently. Okay, and also at the end of the month, the second series of the Mandalorian.
Oh, I thought that was a continuation of what you were just saying.
No. Oh, you nutter. You absolute nutter.
Somebody stop me. God. Okay.
Oh, God, your mind is so warped.
Oh, it is. I apologize to
can
everybody.
I just say, Guy?
Yeah.
Can I just say, Guy? There's a gap between those two articles.
Yes, I see that now.
Oh, dear. Anyway, take us out, young sir. Take us out. Let me see if you can take us out.
I don't know if I can. Everybody, stand by. Just stand by. And you won't have to wait till the end of the month, because Kaz and I will be right back.
This week's GMen episode of the Mighty MyMac podcast.
And what an episode it has been.
Oh, wait, yeah, it's been a bit weird this so far. It has really been quite weird.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed it so far. Yeah, more yeah, more so than usual.
Yeah, we do kind of sound like Heath Ledger as the Joker this week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, take us through the Apple event, Guy.
I actually have some Heath Ledgers here someplace.
It's all right. Let's move on.
So serious. Kill the Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're
Thanks,
good at
Keith.
something, never do it for free.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that's why we do this for free.
We do. We're not claiming to be good at anything. Shades of earlier conversations. Okay.
Yeah.
So Apple had their event the time. Wow. They had their event the time called Time Flies, and to absolutely no one's surprise, the big star of the event, or the big focus of the event, was on the new Apple Watch Series 6, though at the time, none of us realized that along with the Series 6 and the continuation of the Series 3 for the low-end watch, that they were also going to release a new watch, the Watch SE. So, of course, they also announced iOS 14, iPadOS 14, watchOS 7, tvOS 14, which you were talking about in the snippets,
yep.
Which they kind of had to do in order to, and this is why sometimes with these integrated operating systems, things get weird, because you couldn't have the Watch Series 6 without the new Watch OS and without the new iOS 14, because some of the stuff that you have to do with the watch depends on you having an auxiliary device like an iPhone on 14 in order to be able to do certain things that the watch requires, like updating, for example.
I'm following this.
Okay. So they needed that, and if they're going to release iOS 14, then you may as well also release iPad OS 14. Not really sure how tvOS came into it, but I guess they just figured, okay, we'll throw that out there too. So with the new,
and they had to release watchOS 7 because that's half of 14.
Sure.
Let's go with that.
And next week it's going to be squared, so it'll be watchOS 49.
Well, no. What will happen next year is they'll release iOS 14, iPad at 14, and tvOS 14. 15. Replace all those 14s with 15, but they won't go watchOS 7 or to watchOS 8. What they'll do is they'll leave it a year. So watchOS 8 will be released the following year when we get to iOS 16.
Okay.
Because it's half, you see.
Yeah. So that means, then it'll take 4 years after that for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if eventually, and hopefully Tim Cook will be long gone by then.
No, it won't. No, it won't. No, it won't. No, it won't. It'll just be another 2 years. It'll be every. Look, I was messing about, guys.
Yeah. Okay. And now you've got me stuck in an infinite loop of trying to figure it out.
I can try to figure it, but it's every 2 years anyway.
Okay. All right. We'll just stop right there. So the Watch Series 6 has blood oxygen monitoring, and have you seen anything on how it does that? Is it like off of like the sweat
lights.
on your wrist or something?
No, it's just lights. It's just lights. They do it. I've had it done in hospital. Basically, all they do is they put a little cover over your finger, and what it's doing is looking at lights through your blood, and it's just registering. It can tell from the color of the blood or the light. There's something. I know it's lights, particular type of light, which they send through your body.
Is it is it related to what the light returns as, the reflection?
Well,
it's
whether I'm not sure whether it's reflection or whether it's resistance that it's seeing going through. I don't know, but I know that there's multiple lights, so they're probably doing a cross beam on it. I don't know how it does it, but I know that it is a fairly standard light process.
And they've managed to shrink it down into a watch.
Correct.
Okay. Well, good for Apple.
Yeah.
So they've also got, and I don't
can
like
I just stop you there?
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get corrected if I'm wrong. Contact details later.
Yeah. You guys can correct us on anything that you want to, because
no.
Otherwise, we'll never learn.
No. You guys can correct us on everything.
Yes, everything.
Anyway, sorry. Go on.
So there's new colors, and
yes,
how last year the new color that everybody was talking about was that like kind of light green.
Yes.
I think this year it's going to be that blue, that kind of. That's a good-looking blue. I
do like that blue. I must admit, I looked.
Weren't you guys talking about that on the reaction show?
I think they were. Yeah, I wasn't really looking at the colours at that point, but yeah, I think they did. Some of the guys were talking about it, but I had a proper look at it afterwards, and I thought, you know what? I quite like that
color. Not enough to spend, $400 on a new watch, because I've got here. Obviously,
no, I've got
a Series 5, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and I'm thinking actually, I've been able to live without the always on process, and blood oxygen. I don't need to know that just yet. I'll leave it another year before I jump. So I think if I was on a 3, I probably would, but as I'm on I'm thinking no, I don't.
Are you on a 4 or a 5?
4.
Okay, yeah, and there's not that much difference really between the 4 and the 5, because I was on 2 and I jumped
the other day.
5.
I've got to say, the other day I was really, really annoyed at my watch because I went for a walk, and I always, go for a walk, put it on, okay, our usual morning walk, which I post pictures on occasionally on Facebook and generally on Instagram.
Nice pictures too.
And it beat me, it banged me, and I thought, what's it doing that for? And I looked down, and it said I'd done a mile within about 300 or 400 yards. And I thought, And then a little while, I mean, this is just about a 2, it varies, but generally this what we did was about 2.6 miles. And it kept pinging me. And I thought, what is going on? And I got to the end and I'd done 7 miles apparently. And I'd halved my pace. I was thinking, so not only am I doing loads, I'm doing it really, really quickly. However, I'd only spent 21 calories. What's going on here? Anyway, it's a shame I didn't take a picture.
It's new math, Gaz. It's new math.
Yeah, well, I was a bit annoyed, but I rebooted everything because I thought maybe there'd been an update because this was on the Wednesday after the Tuesday, and I thought, software update, they've balked something. But no, I just did a restart of everything, and it seemed to then the next exercise.
It basically kind of had a moment.
Yeah, it did definitely.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm not going to get a Series 6.
No, I have no intention of it either. Other than the new colors, there's also some new watch faces. And I'm kind of curious as to whether or not these new solo loop bands, which I won't be able to use because I have like Frankensteinian kind of wrists, will work with other watches other than the 6. Is it still the same size as what the 3, 4, and 5 had?
What in terms of the connection
of making them fit? Yeah, making them fit onto the watch.
Yeah, no, that's the same. My understanding is that it's exactly the same. Yeah, the strap. So you could probably get the template and get those straps for the older watches as well. In fact, that's a good idea. I might try that.
Yeah, because I have a problem with basically anything related to clothing.
Yeah, I think
cars.
you need to get those bolts taken out, but
Yeah. So then, of course, they also released the Watch SE with family setup to pair multiple watches to one phone. However, there is a gotcha there.
Mm-hmm.
All of the phones have to be the cellular models.
Watches.
Oh yeah, all the watches have to be the cellular models because there's no other way to connect up outside of a Wi-Fi network than having all the cellular models, which adds I think about $100.
But
okay,
equally, if you've got a hand-me-down watch with cellular, you can use that as well.
Oh, okay. So it's not just the SE and the Series 6 then.
No.
So it's OS. It's tied in through the OS.
My understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that as long as you've if you've got a watch with the cellular, then if you've got an older watch, you could perhaps do that as a hand-me-down. That's my understanding. But
okay, well that's good news. I didn't realize that.
I'm perfectly happy to be corrected on that.
So the other thing that they had, there were 2 iPads released. The standard 8th gen iPad is now 10.2 inches, and it has pencil and keyboard support. Starts at $329 with a $299 education discount. Now that's is that 32 gig or 64 gig model? I think it's 64 is the lowest you can go now. But regardless, it's a really, really good iPad, especially with
64. I think it's 64 gig.
Is it 64? Okay. With supporting now basically across the line, you can use the pencil, and I guess they will all now have that little connector on the side so that you can use like the smart keyboard that Apple sells, not the super cool, I'm a floating iPad keyboard.
You're talking about the standard iPad now.
Yes. Yeah, the 8th gen 10.2. So there's no longer a 9.7 except in the older models. The smallest, other than the iPad mini,
I'm not sure it's got that connector on it,
Well, it says it's got keyboard support, so it's either going to...
Yeah, but
you could do that through Bluetooth as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's got the connector. Oh, it has. No, sorry, my mistake. Smart connector.
Otherwise, why would they mention it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can use Apple's Smart Keyboard now across the line with any of their full-size iPads. They also released a new iPad Air, which is now Basically, it's 11 inch, 10.9 inch, and this is the part that kind of surprised me. This is the first iPad with the A14 chip.
Yeah,
because the 2020 iPad Pro was still on the A12.
Yep, absolutely.
So that surprised me that the first one with the new chip would be the iPad Air, and it's also gone from Lightning to USB-C, and they still include the capability of doing Touch ID, but it's done through the power button. So I'm guessing, I can't remember if this is right or not, that the iPad Air will have Face ID.
Yeah, actually, I can't remember that now. Now you've said that, I can't remember whether it's going to have Face ID and the Touch ID. I think it might have both. Let me just have a quick look.
Well, I'll keep going.
While you carry. Yeah.
So essentially, because the new iPad Air is going to have the hotness as far as the chip goes, it will work with Apple's floaty keyboard, and of course, it'll work with the smart keyboard and the pencil. Really, unless you absolutely need to have the 12.9 inch model for an iPad, I would get an iPad Air 10.9 over the 11 inch iPad Pro right now. It's going to be a lot less money. It starts at $599. Now it maxes out for storage at $256, whereas the iPad Pros, I believe, go all the way up to 1 terabyte of internal storage. Now I picked up a 2018 12.9 inch iPad Pro with 512 gigs of internal storage. And that's honestly, I can't see needing more than that with an iPad Pro for a long time, especially if you have an iCloud account that has, if you have especially if you have a 2 terabyte iCloud account, I can't see needing more than 512 gigs of storage on an iPad.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we tend to only use about 64 gig, but we're not really using it for production. So, and no, I can't see Face ID anywhere
on the iPad Air. See,
I can't see.
Actually, that's
anywhere.
A little concerning.
It is actually. I think it is, because
if all you have is Touch ID and the power button to get back to the main screen, well, you can do the swipey, the swipey thing up.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem. It's more of a. I'll tell you where it's more of a problem for me.
Yeah, when it's in sleep mode.
No, but the problem is, which device is it? Which device has got Face ID and which hasn't? And for me, it will be useful when it's in sleep mode to be able to do that. But actually, I think I said this on the reaction time. I don't tend to use any password with my iPads because they don't go. Someone has to get into the house and steal a load of stuff, which I'm less concerned with. Whereas where I'm out and about, I want a bit more security on my devices. So that's a bit annoying actually that and in fact my current iPad is it's finger anyway. It's not face ID. So I suppose I'm kind of used to Touch ID rather. I suppose I'm kind of used to it at this point in time. So
it's kind of cool that they've incorporated Touch ID into the top power button.
Yeah, they have. But actually I've now got used to the way it is, and now I'm going to have to, if I got one, I'd then have to find the power button. Actually, I think that might be more awkward, to be honest with you, Guy.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah, and like I said, I picked up a 2018 iPad Pro. So by the time I'm in the market for a new iPad, it's going to be a moot point. That they'll have gone on to brain scans, or something.
Yeah,
I'll never get into my iPad then.
No, because it says no. You're just not clever enough.
You don't have a brain. Who are you kidding?
You don't deserve to have me.
The last thing that they talked about as far as new stuff was the Fitness Plus workout service. $9.99 a month, $80 a year, coming later in the fall. 3 months free with an Apple Watch purchase. So you get $30 off an Apple Watch if you plan on using Fitness Plus. And I think you guys kind of hit on this on your reaction time. This is like a shot across the bow at Peloton.
Yeah.
You know, the big difference now, you remember back, I can't remember what OS it was, but they released a new version of GarageBand, and they had the guitar lessons and piano lessons and things like that. And it's going to be kind of similar. You're not going to have a live coach like you do with the Peloton system. So it's not like, that Sally bike rider is going to be on at 7 o'clock in the morning for a 45-minute, session and she's going to be there live and encouraging people in the Peloton studios and all the rest of that. No, that's not the way this is going to work. They'll basically have pre-recorded content with, some guy or some gal saying, okay, well, we're going to climb up this mountain and we're going to do this. And basically the fitness app will talk to, and this is where it starts to get kind of cool, because Apple already has a relationship with some of the fitness machine makers in regards to the Apple Watch and the Apple phone, the iPhone, and how they interact with some of these fitness devices. Well, I'm anticipating, now nothing that I know of has been announced, but I'm anticipating that with the Fitness Plus service, that there will be some integration with stationary bicycle makers, treadmill makers, things along those lines, to where they'll integrate with Fitness Plus and your watch and your phone it's to the benefit of everyone involved. It's to the benefit of you as a user. It's to the benefit of these companies, and it's the benefit of Apple as compared to Peloton. And, I'm not slamming Peloton because they have, from the people that I know that have it, it's a great service. They really, really like it, but it's not cheap. You're looking at $2,000 to $3,000 for a bicycle, and then a monthly fee to be on their online service in order to, talk to Sally Bike Rider and, all the rest of that. So we'll see how it kind of works out. But those are some of my thoughts on how the Fitness Plus service will probably work. And
I was not interested in that at all. I've got to say that.
I did enjoy the back and forth between the other guys on the show, and they're all like, well, we don't do anything as compared to what Gaz does every single day of his life. So that made me laugh. I thought that was worth the price of admission right there for that show. Go ahead.
So no, you carry on.
I was just gonna say the last thing that was new from the event was the bundling.
Yep.
And why don't you kind of lead us into that?
Okay, so the bundle basically decided to put, and we kind of talked about this, and I think we talked about it in the previous week, and I said that, I bet they put it in a bundle and they don't give us if you have this, you can have it for that much, and you bundle these three together, you can have it for that much. No, that didn't happen, unfortunately. I kind of know why, and we assume that this is what's going to happen. So what they did was they had bundles. The individual bundle, which is if you want to have Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, and 50 gigs of iCloud, the individual cost for over in the States is $14.95 a month. I don't know how much the combination of that. They say that you can save $6 a month on that total cost, roughly. Okay, now the 50 gig, I believe on all of these, the iCloud can be beefed up, but it's quite a hefty cost on top of this to be able to get it up. So, there's no point in doing that.
Yeah, well, they basically want you to just go to the next bundle.
Of course they do. So the next bundle, actually, they may want you to go to the next bundle guide, but that's a bit stupid if the next bundle is a family bundle and you're an individual.
That's true.
Now, so, and that's why I wanted them to be able to, for you to pick and choose slightly. Now, the next bundle I have is the family bundle, which is $19.95 a month, dollars. Apparently a saving of $8 on the individual packages if you bought them separately. And that would include Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, and iCloud worth 200 gigabyte. So that was one that kind of piqued my interest a little bit, other than the fact the iCloud 200 gigabyte is not enough. Then there's Premier, and Premier is almost $30 a month, $29.95, which apparently does save you though $25 a month. Now that $25,
Depends.
the vast majority of that, well, no, the vast majority of that, I think, comes from the a lot of the fitness services at $9.99 a month. Of course, that bumps that cost up. But what you get is the Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, Apple iCloud 2 terabytes,
right?
News Plus, and most people, and especially on the for Mac OS only, the reaction time one went. Meh. Now, actually, I kind of semi-use news, and if I got this, and somebody did mention that actually there are a number of magazines that you can get through News Plus. So, that might be worth more than people think. And then there's Fitness Plus, which is coming later on in the year. Now, all of that really piqued my interest. Other than the iCloud 200 gigabyte and the family one, the middle one, which I then suddenly realized that I've got 2 accounts. But as I said in my snippets, I've now found that if you've got 2 accounts and you use a mix and match like I do with iCloud on one account and the rest of the services on the other account, that doesn't matter. We're still good apparently. So I'm thinking, Guy, that I might well be going. What I'm going to find out first is how much is it going to cost me to go with the middle family, because the Fitness and the News Plus really don't interest me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and find out how much more it will cost me to go for the family with 2 terabyte if they have that as an option. So we'll wait and see. It actually cost me £14.95 UK pounds and £6.99 currently for 2 terabytes and Apple Music. So if I can get that middle one with the extra for the iCloud, I think that'll still be a saving for me.
Oh yeah, and plus then you get Apple TV and Arcade as well.
Well, absolutely, and those can be shared. And the Apple TV, the thing is with the Apple TV,
that actually, real quick, that's the big draw
with
the family one, is that you can have 5 other people also on that same plan.
And that is key, actually, because the Apple TV side, now I'm really starting to get interested in, cause with the whole family are now watching Ted Lasso, because I've went on and on about it.
Did you see it? Did you see last week's show?
I haven't seen the most recent one, no.
Okay, I won't say anything.
And then there's the Apple Arcade, which I'd like then to drop my toe into. I quite like that.
There are some really, we can talk about it offline, but there's some really, really good games now.
Yeah, and the Apple and the TV Plus as well. Going back to that, the Long Way Up with Ewan McGregor. I saw a preview of that, and they actually spoke to what's the other guy's name? His name's it's completely gone from my head.
Fred Flintstone.
No, it's not. It's definitely not him. Anyway, they were speaking to him on another program, and it sounds like it's going to be really good because all of the support vehicles are also all electric. So they had I'm really looking forward to that, and I think that first one may well be out now as well, but I haven't had a chance to see it. So I'm really interested in these bundles, I must admit.
Yeah, I have already talked to my 2 sons, Guy and Peter, and trying to gauge their interest. Now, with Apple Music, I had the family plan for Apple Music, and I went ahead and sent notifications to my wife, Tracy, and both boys. It was like, hey, here's Apple Music. All you guys got to do is just take the link right from this notification that I just sent you. And none of them did that. So it was kind of like, after a while, it was like, okay, you know what? Apple Music, I'm going to cut that back to just the individual plan because nobody was using it anyway.
Yep.
But if you include Apple TV, both boys are big gamers, so they'd probably be interested in Arcade. The part that I'm not sure about is iCloud. Now, is that 2 terabytes shared between all 5 people, or does
Correct.
each person get 2 terabytes?
No, it's I've got the family one at the moment, and it is 2 terabytes shared, and that actually for us is fine. That is fine for us.
I would have to be able to set a hard limit on other people using 2 terabytes of iCloud.
Which I think you can.
Okay, if I can do that and basically tell, Guy and Peter and Tracy, well, I'm giving you 250 gigs iCloud storage.
Which means that they can,
please.
get their devices backed up.
Yeah, because that would be plenty.
Yeah.
And I don't currently use the News Plus service.
No.
But if it was included in a bundle that I wanted anyway, I would probably use it more. And this is something that I think this is how Apple's probably sold it to the other publishers that were like, well, there's no more money coming in because you're bundling this service. It was like, well, yeah, but you're going to have a lot more eyeballs on your content. And I'm guessing that with all of the talk of people being upset with Apple over some of these services, that Apple's going to have to open up a little bit with News Plus so that some of the publishers can have alternate ways to monetize their content while still staying within the News Plus service. That's the only thing I can think of that Apple could have done to kind of sell them on this concept without giving them more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that was basically the entire event. It was, there was some good stuff that came in the event, but all in all, I was a little underwhelmed by the stuff that they were talking about there. The things that interested me the most was the new iPad Air and the Apple One bundles, and it had nothing whatsoever to do with any of the watches. So, yeah. So, it seriously made me nod my head.
Oh, that's a shame.
Gazzy's tips.
Mostly.
Gazzy's tips.
Mostly.
Gazzy's tips.
It's time for
Gazzy's tip.
I'm going to give you 2 tips here, actually.
Ooh, nice.
There's a surprise one. Actually, you can't limit the usage on iCloud.
Oh, good. Okay.
You can't.
Oh, you can't.
You can't.
Oh,
you can't.
okay.
Sorry, let me repeat that. You can't.
You can't do it?
You can't do it.
Well, let me tell you something, Pilgrim.
Not you can't do it, guy.
can't.
You can't do it, guy.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh,
Anyway.
I'm sorry.
that's
I
his tip.
did not realize that.
Did you know, Guy, actually, though, here's a tip for you. Did you know that on your iOS device that you can take photos whilst doing your video recording? Oh,
I did not know that.
So when you've got your video app up and it's running, you will see not only the red dot, but you'll see a white circle as well on your phone, right? And if you press that white dot whilst you're recording, every time you press that white dot, a still frame is taken and put into your photos
nice.
library.
And you know what? I bet it's a live picture too.
No, I don't think it is a live picture. I think it's a still picture. But
You know what I mean by live picture.
Yeah, the one where it's moving slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not that.
No? Okay.
I don't think it is. No. But
now I'm sad.
The fact that you can take a still while you're recording, because sometimes
cool.
you want to do that, is very cool.
Yep.
And you're nodding your head.
I am.
Hit it. That's the end of Gazzy's tips. That's the end of Gazzy's tips. That's the end of Gazzy's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
Oh, dear.
Sorry.
Dear.
Now, this is the part of the show where in the past, we would do our picks, our app picks or movie picks or anything like that. But oddly enough, right as we were getting ready to record this show, we both realized that was the one thing that we had not yet added to the show. And Gaz was like, can't we just let it go? It was kind of like Frozen. Just let it go. Let it go. So that's what we're going to stop doing picks for the show. Unless something really, really super cool comes up that either Gaz or I are doing, or if our wonderful listeners have a tip or a pick that they want to share with other people, you can send that to us and we will include it here in the show. And this will be another way that you can get something truly wonderful, Gaz.
Yeah, but can I just say, we're
Sure.
going to rename it when we get those items, and when they come up, we're going to call it For Pick's Sake.
You came up with that name. That is a brilliant name. I love that name. And then I put here, where applicable, you fool. You fool. I don't know why.
It just makes my line funnier. That's
It does. It does. So if you would like to, this is another way that you can get, as a listener of the show, you can get a Woody. And that's
Yes.
spelled big W, big O, big O, big T, little I, little E. So if you're a first-time caller to the show, you can get a Woody. If you send us a pic or a tip or something like that, you can get a Woody. If you do something amazing for the show, you can get a Woody. Wooty. Not a Woody, a Wooty.
I prefer a Woody. I prefer a Woody because I think I know where you're going with that.
So you get a Woody, and you get a Woody, and we all get, if you look under your seat right now,
There's a Woody.
wherever you are, if you're in a car, a bus, an airplane.
Yeah, Jim, if you look under your seat, Jim, you'll find a Wooty. Jim,
that will come
Jim.
into play in just a little while.
I thought you was going all the way there and you weren't.
But that's what we're doing. We're getting rid of the app picks, because I think at this point we have gone through our entire applications folder, and we don't really have anything else that's like super cool that we haven't told you about 100,000 times before.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jim, hello Jim. We have a couple of
Hello, guy.
of
How are ya?
hello. We have a couple of audio snippets. He called into the show using our super secret that only 4 people know how to use.
No, these weren't on Skype. These were audio clips. These were audio clips.
Oh, that he sent to you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's another way you can do that, and you'll get a Woody too. I think I've sent him one before. I don't know if Jim, if you don't have a Woody, let me know, and I will handcraft. and
I've told
lovingly
him, Guy, that you're going to send him a Wooty.
Okay, well then, he will be wootied, and that's a verb now. So here's
Have you been wooted?
have you had your Wooties today? It's kind of like Wheaties, but it's not. So here's the first thing that he sent.
Yeah, what's this taking the mickey out of my Scottish accent? I'll stop listening to you. You've got to be daft to listen to MyMac podcast. Just a minute, did I just call myself daft? No.
Wise words, mate.
Wise words, mate. Wise words.
I have. Other than that last bit where he said MyMac and no, I didn't understand a single word.
That's hilarious.
I know. I'm not complaining.
I did, Jim, and I liked it. Thank you. I liked it.
And please send us more just like that, because I enjoy a challenge. People have called me challenged for years. The second one is much easier to figure out. So here it is.
Yes, listen to this one.
Guy. Guy. Guy.
Yeah.
Guy.
What?
Guy.
What?
Banana bread.
Oh.
Oh, heck.
I think he must have been recording that and maybe thought that it hadn't recorded or something, because the whole banana bread, oh heck, at the end. I don't know. I cannot begin to fathom the mind of Jim. So we appreciate the fact, Jim, that you have sent that in, and yes, I will create a Woo tea just for you.
It made us both laugh.
It did, and I had no idea what the first one said.
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay, so in relation to something else that we were talking about before we started to record, if you would like to help support the various things that I do, you can go to patreon.com/MacParrot and subscribe and help me out with all the different things that I do. You can go to coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot and do a one-time donation. You can go to PayPal, paypal.me/MacParrot. Again, do a one-time notification. Go on over to YouTube and like, share, subscribe. And if you missed it the first time, like, share, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. Smash it. Subscribe and smash it. Smash that bell. Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you and ask you things, ask you important questions, how would they do it?
Send an email to Gaz, G-A-Z,
Cars.
MyMac.com or on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz, G-A-Z.
Cars, sorry.
M-A-Z.
Cars. I didn't wait.
Cars, very good. Will you let me finish?
Yes.
Or you can send a tweet to both Guy and myself on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, G-U-I.
Why?
A-N-D.
D.
G-A-Z.
Cars.
Excellent. I like it. You can also send an email to feedback@mymac.com. That's F-E-E-D-B-A-C-K at mymac.com. Now,
Guy was paid at 75 grand.
Do we know it was a guy? I like to go with Guy.
yes. Yeah. And
Shut down.
shut down. Absolutely. Guy never.
I screwed up.
No.
Guy says,
What does he says?
Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain.
That's what
They
he
never
says.
do.
Okay, yeah.
his name was Guy. No foolin'.
He's the guy.
Guy.
Guy,
You remember Guy?
because,
Guy's the one.
and if you want,
An email from Guy.
how would they do it?
It gets more and more complicated every single week.
It does, because I have to try and mix it up in different ways.
You would send that email to, oddly enough, Guy at mymac.com. That is G-U-Y with no other letters. That's that weird symbol. mymac.com. You can also follow me on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot, and I am also Vert Shark. It's a scary moment for me each and every week. What
It's
else?
not. It's just
It is. We have no idea who's going to take offense week after week on whatever the stuff is that we play. We also have a Skype number, Gaz, that Jim, Marcus, and who else? Greg from North Carolina.
Tony Blair.
No, Tony Blair has never called us.
Okay.
And neither who's the current PM? What's his name?
Boris
Boris
Johnson.
Johnson has never say it like a Frenchman. Johnson.
Boris Johnson.
He has never called us at all on our telephone number. Which,
Definitely not a Frenchman.
and if you wanted to talk to us through that telephone number, it would be 1 or +1, which is the country code 7-3-436-95-1. That number again is 1 or +1 outside of the United States, and then it would be 7-0-3-436-9501. Oh, guys, you could say no to the 1 or the +1 and just do 7-3-436-9501. That's all you got to do. And I realize, I can't say anything.
Please do it. Please.
So we would like to say, I know this has been kind of an extra long show this week. We would like to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who downloads and listens to the MyMac.com podcast. It is greatly appreciated. And Gaz, I think that we're good enough and that You're probably smart enough. I am not. And that doggone it, people like us. I was going to say, try it in a French accent this week.
End.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.